Getting to this point, perhaps our next guest, our first guest, will agree. He's the Libertarian Republican from Idaho and Freedom Watch regular, Congressman Raul Labrador. Congressman Labrador, it's a pleasure. Welcome back to Freedom Watch.
Hello, Judge. It's always great to be on your show.
If Speaker John Boehner says, I'm in favor of wise spending of federal dollars on infrastructure repairs, is he also saying he's in favor of spending money that we don't have and increasing the debt ceiling yet again and mortgaging the future of our children?
I don't know exactly what he's saying, but what I can tell you is that there's several of us who are not happy with some of the things that the president is talking about. Now, there's 2 or 3 things that we can work with him on, but I don't think he means what he's saying. If you listen to what the president said, he talked about 3 things that I think all conservatives, all libertarians, all Democrats could agree on. We need to decrease spending. There's nothing that we need to talk about more than decreasing spending. We can also reform the tax code, and this is something that many conservatives are starting to talk about, and I've been talking about for the last 6 months. We need to get rid of all the loopholes that we have, and we need to lower tax rates so we can have a flatter, fairer tax. We can also talk about energy independence. If the president is willing to work with us on those 3 areas, I think we can find common ground. If he's just talking about more stimulus spending, I don't think there's any common ground that we can find.
Here's what I'm worried about. I think the president is talking about more borrowing and spending. I'm worried that Speaker Boehner and the Republican leadership, just like they did with raising the debt ceiling, will cut some kind of a deal with the White House so as to give the impression to the American public that the government is doing something, when you know the best thing the government can do is lower taxes and get out of the way and let the engine of the free market restore prosperity.
And that's what I think Republicans and Democrats seem to fail to understand sometimes. Our job here is not to create jobs. Our job here in Washington is to create the environment for companies to create jobs. And I think so many people here in Washington, D.C. have been here too long, and they fail to understand that it is not our position. We don't have the ability to pick winners and losers. You're going to talk in a little bit about the scandal with the solar energy. It seems like the same thing has happened again and again and again. We have done it with solar energy. We have done it with ethanol. People in Congress think that they know best, and they really don't. They seem to pick a company or a product or a service, and they decide that that's their blessed program that they're going to endorse. And we see time and again companies failing, the economy failing. What we need to do is just get out of the way, simply reform the tax code, get rid of the spending that we have, do energy independence. These are all things that wouldn't cost us any money, and it would bring about great change.
Congressman Labrador, right now unemployment is at 99 weeks. That's nearly 2 years. The first 26 weeks is paid for by the state in which the person claiming the unemployment has worked. The rest is paid for by the feds. The president wants to extend that by another year. Question, Congressman Labrador, is it the proper role of the federal government to pay people not to work for up to 3 years?
Not only is it not the proper role of the federal government, but there's evidence that it actually is hurting our economy. There's study after study that comes out that says that the more unemployment that you have, the less people are willing to take low-level jobs, and we have low-level jobs that are open right now. So we have a problem where our policy and the things that we're doing in Washington, D.C. are actually discouraging people from employment instead of encouraging people from full employment. So I think it's bad policy, and it's not constitutional.
Congressman Labrador, it's a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And now we turn to a man who